If you want to know what the story is about before us artificial intelligence read it to you, here it is.
During another training session, Raju senses a disturbance in another spirit world, leading Sarah and Race to journey there to aid those in need, which turns out to be an alternate version of the Legend of Korra and Equestria, where ponies can now manipulate the four main elements. However, an alternate chrysalis is at it again, and this time Sarah and Race may need their own pony friends to help the heroes, the children of Main 6 and Team Avatar, save the day. Inspired by the Little Pony Legends series by Magus Heartlove. Now let's start the story.
Story, Trials of Sarah, Parallel Spirit Worlds, by Zip Storm.
In the beautiful kingdom of the Alola region, young Princess Sarah was growing stronger along with her family in many ways as well. Currently, she and her boyfriend, Race Konami, were training with the Badgemoles, Relo and Peel, and the female flying bison that Marina named Arrow. Under Raju's supervision, Sarah and Race had both improved on their wind and earth manipulations. Very well done, Raju praised. You've done very well. Thanks, Raju. Sarah smiled, wiping sweat from her brow as Race was doing the same. Here Auntie and Uncle Maya. Skitty cutely mewed, dragging 2 towels by his mouth. The couple chuckled and gently took the towels from the kitten Pokemon before Bella and Blitz brought them each a bottle of water. So when are we gonna check out this Avatar world, Mother? Silverly questioned. Depends on when you're ready, Marina stated. Great, another globe-trotting adventure, Eternatus said sarcastically, sounding joyful. Well, I for one am actually curious about Tighammer and the other's real counterpart's homeworld. Flygon amused. Yeah, sounds interesting. Draco concurred, especially with the bending arts sounding very similar to your own elemental manipulation except the magic part of it. Hydrogen conversed. Yeah, wonder if any of them can control crystals. Snowflake wondered. As far as I saw, not one. Marina chuckled at the small Vulpix. And given we're taking your human family along with us, it's best you try to act as normal as possible. Normal, that's a good one, Silverly snorted with a chuckle. Mother's anything but normal. By a long shot, Tutu agreed. Just then, Raju perked up at something. Raju, what is it? Sarah asked. I sense a great danger in a parallel Avatar world, Raju informed. Danger, Sarah echoed before she cautiously touched Raju's forehead and read his memories, seeing faint images of an alternate chrysalis, and her changelings with the captured versions of her Equestria friends and apparently their children in the spirit world to rescue them. Iris, 12-year-old daughter of Korra and Mako, and was the only other human to have a cutie mark. That came with being part pony, along with the wings and magic. Her mark consisted of a winged heart. The wings were light purple, blue, and white, while the heart was yellow, pink, and orange. Akari, Anthro Alicorn, daughter of Twilight Sparkle and Flash Sentry, had a midnight blue mane, streaked with pink and light blue. A firebender, Mai and Hyro, twin sibling of Asami and Balin and Iris's cousins. Nai is a firebender and Hyro is an earthbender. Hyro was 13 and an earthbender. Mai was 12 years old and a firebender. Gallant Seed, Anthromale Unicorn, son of Starlight Glimmer and Sunburst. He is an airbender. Kai, a Nori's Wisp soul sister. Nori, Anthromerpany, daughter of Rarity and Kambu. She is an Anthro Earth pony girl with lilac skin, ears, and aqua green colored hair with purple streaks and a seashell hair clip. Her eyes were a dark magenta, and a pale blue musical note with a pearl was on the left side of her cheek. In the water, her lower body turns into a fishtail. The scales were a dark lilac, with long fins that almost resembled a flowing dress. The fins were a paler lilac shade with the tips fading to a green color. On land, she wore a yellow-green full-body dress with a dark aquamarine undershirt, a blue belt with a pink seashell buckle, and 2 straps, styled into an X across her chest. The ends of the straps hung loosely at the front of her shirt. The others watched as her tail was magically turned into a pair of lilac legs, with fins attached to the back of them, and wearing flat shoes. She had the same fins on her arms, which faded from lilac to a darker shade, similar to her tail, same as her legs, which were darker lilac from the knees down. When Sarah removed her hand, she said, "Got it." Oh, so basically the alternate version of Chrysalis is causing big trouble. Got it. Either way, we must journey to the spirit world to aid the children, Raju informed. Sarah nodded, agreeing with the spirit of life before Stormcloud entered the chamber and landed near Marina, who mounted her. Sarah and Race mounted Arrow. Using a portal tune, Raju opened a portal to the spirit world, and the group swiftly entered as Raju led them to the children's location. They swiftly found the former group in Arrow, and Stormcloud landed nearby. Marina. Iris blinked at the advisor, indicating she knew her. What are you doing here again? You honestly think you can hide trouble from me and Raju? Marina smirked. We're here to rescue your parents, help with our friends. Sarah and Race waved at the children, and you two are. I'm Sarah, and this is Race Konami, my boyfriend. Sarah stated. And you guys know Marina how? She's a friend of our parents. Iris stated. Apparently they understood her whole traveling across different dimensions concept pretty well. Suddenly, the sound of flapping wings and hissing were heard from all around. The children got into formation, seeing the changeling wolves appearing all around them. Arrow, stay back. These guys are more dangerous than the regular changelings. Sarah telepathically warned Arrow to stay back as the female flying bison took off into the air to keep herself safe while Marina mounted Stormcloud. Not these guys again, Nori exclaimed, readying her pearl shield. It's okay, we can take these guys. Akari reassured everyone. It's 7 against 5. Hyro blinked, seeing more and more shadows behind the 5 changeling wolves that surrounded them. Make that 7. Hyro counted, only for more and more wolves to start appearing around them, and above them, flapping their wings. 8, 9, 10, 13, 19. The hissing and flapping and snarling increased, and before long, those sounds were all the children could hear. Never had the kids seen a large pack of wolves in their lives. Even animal expert Fluttershy would be astounded by such a large number of wolves. There were 20, 25 at the least, and by the looks of it, they were starving. Akari was the first to lead, wielding her sword, and charged at one of the wolves that came at her at the same time. She sliced her way through, cutting in half each of the slimy goop they spit from their mouths, using her own magic to shield herself from the incoming blasts. Hyro and Mai flipped away from a pouncing wolf. Mai rolled on the sand before stopping at a 3-point landing, punching and kicking streams of fire at the wolves, which caused them to whimper in pain at the scorching heat. One wolf leaped on top of her, followed by another and another. The wolves whimpered in alarm when they felt their tails being grabbed and dragged around. Using her super strength, Mai grabbed each wolf by the tail, spun around, and threw them over her head across the desert. Another wolf came up from behind, only to get knocked down by a stream of sand, courtesy of Hyro. Hyro bended rocks from the ground, and holding them in his hands, he threw them at the wolves, causing them to explode right in their faces, blinding them before proceeding to bend the sand around them to trap them underneath. Nori leaped and dodged the incoming goop spits with her pearl shields, while Gallant Steed airbended them away with a tornado, followed by magical blasts and spells that knocked the wolves back. Using her arms as blades, Kai charged at full speed towards the wolves, slicing her arms around before stopping. Hey, wait a minute. Without a moment to waste, Kai changed herself back into her wolf form. Now we're talking. The now wolf wisp charged at the wolves, snapping her jaws and clawing them like a raved beast. Stormcloud fired electricity from her mouth with Here Sky Magic Hole. Raju launched his water blades at them. Iris joined in the fight, using a combination of her magic and firebending against the creature, which kept leaping at her, while trying to subdue her wings with their slimy goop. Hyro was knocked down by one of the changeling wolves, who spit at his ankles, sticking him to the ground. Hyro tapped on it with his hand, but nothing happened. Come on, come on. Why aren't you blowing up? He exclaimed, trying desperately to make the slimy stuff explode, only to have his hand stuck to it. His sister came in and punched the creature away, square in the nostrils. The creature rolled on the sandy ground, whimpering, but Mai's victory was short-lived when that same goop wrapped around her upper torso, covering her arms and hands. She fell to the ground beside her brother, the changelings looming over them. Akari and Gallant fought back to back, the incoming changelings, shielding themselves from the goop. Iris swooped in, only to get knocked over by another changeling, and seeing her 2 cousins being dragged away. No, Iris blasted at the changelings and tried to reach them, but was stopped by a few more changelings, which Kai charged at and bite right on their haunches. Iris saw the chance and tried to break the goop, but it proved to be too strong and fireproof. She instead created a blade out of magic and sliced the stuff open, freeing the 2, only for Iris to get thrown off when another changeling knocked her down, snarling before coming at her. Iris blocked it with a magical shield. Mai and Hyro tried to help her, but were blocked by even more changelings. All around her, Iris saw her friends try again and again to best the changeling wolves, but no matter how many strikes they made, they just kept on coming. Nori sent Pearl Shield after Pearl Shield, blocking every incoming attack. They were vastly outnumbered, and Iris wasn't sure how long they could be able to keep this up. Hai wasn't looking so good, getting hit and thrown around by unexpected changelings, while Gallant and Akari could barely keep their shields up. Smoke emitting from their horns is a sign that they were using a huge amount of their magic, and if they didn't defeat the changelings soon, it would all be over. Iris clenched her fists and stood up. She was not about to let her friends suffer anymore. She wanted to be the Avatar. Then it was time to be one. Closing her eyes and appending her fists together, Iris focused all of her energy into her bending, all of her thoughts into her magic. She didn't hold back. When her eyes opened, the rest of the changelings ceased, and her friends stared in awe upon seeing Iris's eyes glowing white, the winds picking up in a ring of fire encircling her, along with water that manifested around her and rocks from the surrounding area. Her long hair rapidly whipped in the wind, and she rose up into the sky. For a moment, the changelings stared in fear, only for the winds to suddenly pick up even more than before. A look of concern formed on Iris's face. Her hands partly clenching and electrical currents began to course through her entire body. The fire around her intensified, and blasts of the same fire came shooting down like comets, causing the ground to shake. Iris's eyes continued to glow, but something didn't feel right. This power, it didn't feel at all like last time. Akari and the others noticed that their cutie marks and symbols were flickering. Not glowing, but going in and out like a worn-out light bulb. Something didn't feel right at all. Iris began to feel overwhelmed by all this power. She couldn't control it. It felt like she was trying to lift up 60 pounds of metal, and if she continued, her bones would crack. Iris, you have to stop, Akari cried out. Iris shook her head. She could do this. She had to. She had to protect her friends. These were her powers. She had to know how to control them. Sarah gasped before she instinctively charged towards Iris, changing into her animagus form and broke through the elemental power and slammed into her. But this caused a huge explosion of light before Iris let out a painful scream, and lightning, fire, ice shards, and rocks came raining down all around them. The ground began to tremble and split apart. Seeing their chance, the changelings spit their goop onto. Sarah lost consciousness and her body fell into the abyss her powers had unintentionally created. Island girl. Race cried, but Stormcloud prevented him from getting caught before Marina grabbed him and flew into the air. Marina, your girlfriend's for this, Marina assured. She'll be fine. Race could stare at the abyss solemnly and at their new friends being dragged off by the changeling wolves. Sarah cringed and cried out in pain as she tried to sit back up. Her eyes were still closed, completely engulfed in darkness, yet she willed herself to sit back up. It hurt to even open her eyelids. Even the tiniest movement felt like a million needles piecing into her skin. Looking at her surroundings, Sarah realized she had fallen into a pit, seeing the desert winds whooshing above her and that she'd changed back into her human self. Despite her entire body aching, Sarah stubbornly got on her 2 legs, ignoring the wobbling of her knees, which quickly proved to her undoing, and she fell again, palms pressed against the rocky hard ground. She could still feel all her heirlooms and items on her, which she was slightly relieved about. But what about Marina, Stormcloud, Arrow, and Race? She couldn't even move an inch of it without yelling in pain because of how powerful the blast from Iris was. Looking up at the opening of the pit Iris unintentionally created, Sarah used her mana to scan for her friends or family. There were no voices, no flapping of the incest wings of the wolf changelings, no sound of a rumble of any sort. Just the ghostly echoes of the desert winds. Damn it, I hope they're all right. Just then, Sarah heard the sound of footsteps approaching. She turned her head around, picking up a nearby stick as a last line of defense. A light began to manifest on the corner of a rock, followed by the shadow of a human. The sound of sandals hitting against small pebbles was heard, and seen when she saw said pebbles rolling all around. Yet the light only grew stronger. It was white and serene and powerful, yet it didn't blind her. Hello, Sarah questioned before 2 familiar figures appeared in front of her, the last king and queen of the barbaric archipelago. Queen Athai, King Blizzard. "Greetings, little princess," King Blizzard greeted. "But how? You two are supposed to be in Bosho, aren't you?" Sarah blinked. "Normally, yes, but in the spirit world, spirits such as ourselves can roam like Raju," Athai explained. "It is home to the spirits, a vast range of paranormal and supernatural entities that often embody different aspects of life and nature. Like your guys, Raju, Saul, Ashia, Jehayali, Naraya, and Zijibin." Sarah breathed in disbelief. "That's part of how you got the idea to make them." "Indeed," Athai chuckled. "Best decision we ever made. And I see he's put you into another battle between peace and war situation." Blizzard lightly joked. "Alternate version of Chiasali's and her changelings, yes." Sarah sighed. "With the new avatar Iris, but well, she couldn't control her power and ended up hurting you." Blizzard guessed. "As I did once when I first unlocked the roar." Sarah solemnly compared. "But ... now what can I do?" "We believe you already have the answer to that and to defeating this version of Chrysalis." Athai smirked. Something started to glow from her secondary satchel, and Sarah gently pulled it out to find the sun halo and her element of hope both glowing together. "You've always shown the light will always win against the darkness, no matter how impossible the odds may seem. You've done many great things just by being yourself, selflessly putting others before yourself, and learning the most powerful magic of all." Blizzard smiled. "Friendship and love." Sarah breathed, smiling. "And your unique friends, too." Athai chuckled, making Sarah confused before a certain happy unicorn hugged her. "Sarah," Izzy squealed. "Izzy." Sarah giggled before she saw Sunny, Zip, Pip, Hitch, Sparky, Misty, Edge, Ryu, Sefu, Drake, and Tama, with the main 7 wearing their elements of harmony. "Everyone, you're here, thanks to our unity crystals." Zip grinned, sensed something was wrong here, and brought us here to help. "Yeah, and we're ready to battle and meet new friends." Izzy grinned, leaping up and down with glee. Sarah rolled her eyes playfully at the happy unicorn, but she nodded at them all before she looked at Athai and Blizzard. "Now make haste, little ones," Blizzard advised, and Sarah and the others nodded before Athai and Blizzard both used their magic to teleport the group to the scene where Race, Marina, Stormcloud, and Arrow were hovering above together. The changelings all ceased their fighting and rallied behind their queen, changing back into wolves. The queen panted, looking visibly tired, probably even more so than the heroes themselves. They all rallied around Chrysalis, ignoring their own exhaustion and ready to end this here. "And now, enough, Chrysalis," Cora stated firmly while panting slowly. "This has to end now." Chrysalis hung her head, her hair partly covering her face. "Yes, you're right," she said, only to start cackling again. "This is the end. For all of you." Slowly lifting up her hand, she revealed to have taken the potion from Iris's pocket when she tackled her. "It won't work," Starlight Glimmer said, taking a step forward, ignoring the hissing of the wolves. "Did you really think I would make you that potion? It has everything but the final ingredient, so it's pretty much useless." "Oh, I'm fully aware of that," Chrysalis said, shocking Starlight. "I knew you'd try and double-cross me. I may not have been able to make it myself, but I memorized all the ingredients, including the last one. A single drop of light magic. Now, who here has that kind of magic?" To make things even more shocking, Chrysalis revealed that, along with the potion, she also plucked one of Iris's feathers. The princess gasped, feeling foolish for not having noticed when Chrysalis plucked her. Without a moment to waste, Chrysalis opened the vial and placed the feather inside, where it immediately dissolved into small, rainbow-like particles, and she gulped the entire thing down in one swoop. No, there was nothing nobody could do. Chrysalis had drunk the potion. There was not even a drop left. The now empty bottle fell from Chrysalis's hand, and it rolled away. The queen's expression was not one of devilish joy or accomplishment, but rather one of true, unadulterated terror. Everyone looked on in confusion, for rather than be pleased with herself, Chrysalis looked as if she had realized she made a grave mistake. She jolted, letting out a shocked gasp, gripping her throat which felt like it was on fire. Her breathing became hectic, her eyes unblinking even when she got to her knees. The potion began to take full effect. From what appeared to be completely against her own will, her mouth opened wider than it had ever been. If her skinny body wasn't a disturbing image enough by itself, the massive way her jaw outstretched downwards with her head tilted back and eyes bulging certainly added to it. The rest of the heroes felt a scorching pain inside of them. Their bodies glowed dangerously bright. They groaned, they winced, they screamed, feeling all of their energy slipping away, and the will to keep it was only increasing the already unbearable pain. It was just like when Tyrk stole their magic, only 1,000,000,000 times more painful. It was like reliving years and years and years of pain and suffering came flooding back in one painful second. All of that energy, all of that magic became absorbed into Chrysalis's unsettlingly open mouth. From her throat grew a green substance, resembling the surface of the cocoons she had used to trap everyone, only it expanded, engulfing every bit of her body, from her arms to her legs, face and hair, all but her eyes. Her body shimmered, radiating with a powerful light. With each new power she absorbed, a new layer grew around her, causing her body to grow rapidly. Even the changeling wolves whimpered in terror upon seeing their mistress growing and growing larger than life, as she continued to absorb the magic from everyone present. "Oh no," Race gasped. "What now? We can't let her take all their magic." Zip frowned. "Then we'll take some of it ourselves," Sunny stated, boldly taking on her alicorn form. "Our powers are always stronger together, even in a different world." "Yes," Pip sang. "Let's do it." Race took his element of faith from his girlfriend's secondary satchel and put it on his head, transforming into his own alicorn form. The main 9 put their hooves in together, hoof to heart. Together, the ponies, Sarah and Race all flew down and skidding in between the queen and the draining heroes. Their elements of harmony shimmering brightly together, as were their cutie marks due to their friendship. Once the process was finished, everyone fell to the ground, their colors dull, their eyes tinted with gray, and their bodies feeling like jello, and Anthros were forced back into their pony forms, unable to morph back. Chrysalis had grown to be as large, and not bigger than Tyrk or even Kuvira's old mecha suit. Her entire body radiated with electrical currents, each in a different color, reminiscent of the heroes' color schemes. Her eyes were glowing green, no pupils or irises in sight, and her hair was now pure white, moving on its own like snakes, and her wings outreached, still torn but larger than before. Upon closer examination of her transformation, Chrysalis was now free to laugh to her black heart's content. She laughed at the fallen heroes. "The magic of friendship won't be able to stop this. The world will know my name." However, a large blast of magic came from below her, revealing to be Sarah, Race, Sunny, and the others all supercharged themselves, having achieved their own rainbow forms. Sunny's mane and tail kept the rainbow stripe, but her wings and horn gained the same shading as well. Izzy gained pale heliotrope markings in the shape of her cutie mark on her legs, and her mane grew much longer. Pip and Zip's manes also grew longer as well, with Zip's resembling a longer mohawk, while Pip still hung down from her left side beautifully. Both were sparkling with small images of their own cutie marks on their legs, and their wings had rainbow shading on them. Hitch's mane and tail extended beautifully, as he also had shield markings on his legs as well. Edgeblade's mane and tail grew longer and were flowing naturally, as images of small flames littered her front legs, while images of her cutie mark littered her back legs. Misty's mane and tail grew much longer and puffier, and was now rainbow-colored, with small butterfly images being on her legs. Sarah and Race both gained rainbow stripes in their longer manes and tail, and wings, just like Sunny. "All right." Sunny smiled, seeing her plan loud and clear. Absorb some of the stolen magic herself and combine it with her own. It worked. "What?" Chrysalis snarled. "Who are you?" "Sarah." Iris breathed weakly. "We're a team." Zip frowned at Chrysalis. "When you go up against one of us, you go up against all of us." Hitch added, "I'll duel with her. You guys heal the others for a bit." Sarah directed, "You can't beat me alone." Chrysalis bellowed, "I'm not alone." Sarah spat before she revealed her elemental stones, which were resonating very brightly cause of the presence of their elements. And being in the spirit world, dinosaurs awaken. She summoned in the spirits of her dinosaur friends, soared out of the elemental stones, and materialized into Chomp, Munch, Maximus, Terry, Arcane, Gigas, Paris, Fuki, and Mia, whom all roared loudly, as they were not as big as Chrysalis cause of the increased magic. "What?" Chrysalis roared. "Let's hit her hard, gang." Sarah exclaimed before Chomp and Maximus roared and charged her together, and rammed her in the midsection. Terry and Arcane leaped up and landed on her shoulders before clamping their jaws on her before spinning around and tossing her into the air, where Paris, Mill, and Fuki leaped above her and kicked her onto the ground together. Sarah flew up to her and fired beams of her magic as Chrysalis retaliated with her own powers, as Chomp and her dinosaurs attacked together as a team. Raju, Marina, Race, Stormcloud, Ryu, and the Mighty Ones, Sunny, and the ponies and Arrow landed near the fallen heroes. Sunny, Edge, Misty, Izzy, we got ponies and people down. Healing spells on the double. Hitch barked and the mares nodded before Sunny, Misty, Edgeblade, and Izzy used a small healing spell on the heroes. Okay, where'd you come from? Cora asked weakly. Long story, Sunny stated with her wings spread out. I'm Sunny, this is Hitch, Izzy, Zip, Pip, Misty, and Edgeblade. Hi, hello, hee, sup. Howdik, hey. Her friends fretted together. And these are Pip and my dragon siblings, the Mighty Ones, Ryu, Sefu, Drake, and Tamu. Zip added, they are water dragons. Hello, greetings, hey, hi, said water dragons greeted. We're friends with Sarah. Really good friends. Pip chimed, hovering above Sunny. Hello, I'm Izzy. Izzy grinned, leaping up and down happily. We're here to help you against their other version of Chiasalis that our Unity Crystal sensed being connected to Sarah. And our friendship. I wanted to sum a good first impression. Izzy suddenly revealed a lot of friendship bracelets. So I made all those friendship bracelets for you to remember your new friends, and it's nice to meet all of you. Another version of Pinkie Pie, I see. Mako remarked. You have no idea. Ryu and Hitch sighed together, and Izzy innocently giggled before Sparky babbled, as he leaped off of Hitch's back. Sparky, Hitch gasped. Sparky just innocently babbled and waddled over to Gallant Seed, sensing the same kindness as his father and Fluttershy had in their Equestria. And just what kind of dragon are you? Sparky babbled and puffed out some dragon fire, and turned his hair lime green with stripes of pink and blue. Wah, my hair. Whoa, Noi got. And if help is what you need, then help is what you'll have. Sunny confirmed. Akari and Iris saw the elements of harmony necklaces and crown on Sunny, and the others. More elements of harmony. Akari gasped. Alternate elements. Raju snickered. Our elements. Pip clarified. Gorgeous. However, a large explosion cut the conversation short as Sarah and Chrysalis continued to duel each other. And the dinosaurs. Terry, Gigas, and Arcane, Neck Crusher. Go! Sarah yelled, and her 3 Tyrannosaurs roared as they charged Chrysalis, whom blasted ice shards at them, but Gigas' armor blocked them all before they threw her into the air, and spun around 3 times before slamming their tails into her together, and she crashed into the forest. Schaub, Maximus, and Munch, triple lighting spear. Her 3 Ceratopsians roared as they sparked with lighting together before they charged and collided with Chrysalis before leaping into the air and electrocuting her with electricity. Holy shrimp. Ballin gawked. That's powerful. Hyro blinked. They're each equally strong. Alternate Celestia breathed. Schaub, Munch, and Maximus landed on the ground as Chrysalis crashed onto the ground before she up now enraged. I won't be pushed around by your puny lizards. She bellowed. Try ancestors to dragon's bug eyes. Sarah spat at her before firing her angelic magic at her, and she screeched in fury. We gotta help Sarah and return your magic. Sunny stated boldly. Awesome, let's do this. Zip smirked, clapping her hooves together for a real fight, but the changeling wolves snarled at her to prevent them from interfering, however. Back off, wolves. Several large dragons landed in front of Sunny and the others. It was Blaze, Fountain, Lux, Leaf, Tumble, and Lava whom were summoned by Raju. Yeah, leave our buddies alone. Lux chimed in, frowning. The changeling wolves gawked at the dragon's huge size. Blaze, Leaf, Lux, Fountain, Tumble, Lava, Sunny, Izzy, Pip, and Zip cheered with glee at the dragon friends whom they figured were summoned by Raju. Those are your dragon's friends. They're huge. Ballin and Hyro got together. Groovy to meet yo. Fountain greeted in her typical chill, hipster mode before Blaze, and the dragons breathed their fire at the changeling wolves to force them to scatter. Need a lift. Blaze glanced with a smirk. Right. Ladies, grab the elements from this world. Hitch ordered. Pip sang. Let's do this. Sunny and her friends joined hooves together, hoof to heart. Hitch grabbed Gallant Seed, whom yelped. Sunny, Izzy, Pip, Zip, Misty, and Edge grabbed Akari, Iris, Hyro, Mai, and Kai before climbing onto Blaze's back. With a mighty roar and flap of her wings, Blaze and her dragon friends flew into the air, with the ponies cheering as they went. "This is awesome and scary." "Ha!" Hyro screamed over the wind. Sunny, Zip, Pip, Hitch, Izzy, and Edgeblade touched the children and activated their elements, awakening the elements' magic within them via the magic of friendship. Iris saw her clothing begin to change. She now wore a long shirt that was cut open from the waist down, colored purple, but with elegant, curly designs across it and on the edge of the opening, with colors of blue, light magenta, aqua green, and yellowish green. Her pants were a black, magenta scarlet shade and blue boots with light magenta, light yellow, green, and aqua outlines. On her shoulders were light green shoulder blades with pink outlines and purple jewels with yellow outlines. Around her waist was a belt with a heart-shaped jewel with yellow wings and 2 chains going both sides of her outfit, each one depicting a color matching her friend's color schemes. On her arms she wore lawn bracelets, same color as her boots with yellow, pink, and light aqua green outlines. On her head she wore a heart-shaped magenta jewel with a golden outline, holding her ponytail. Her father's scarf was still around her neck. Akari's outfit that was in a similar color scheme as her normal outfit, with yellows, pinks, and reds. Changing back into her anthro form, she gained a sparkly yellow shirt that was red from behind with a flame-like design that flowed from behind her, and a riffled skirt with red, pink hues. Dark red leggings and matching boots with stars on top, added with blue flames within. She wore long gloves with yellow cuffs and blue stones above, matching her cutie mark's color. Kai had changed back into her human form, with her hair having grown longer, and styled into a ponytail, adorned with a hair clip that resembled the heart-shaped fox head on her arm, which was bare while a silver cuff was on her right arm. She now wore a simple purple shirt with silver shoulder blades and matching belt. The shirt was also cut over to resemble some kind of tutu, and transparent white lightning-shaped fabric flowed from it. She wore a pair of dark blue pants that reached a few inches below her knees with a white outline going downwards from both sides, and a pair of sneakers with lightning bolt symbols. Mai's hair was styled into a low ponytail, ended and tied together with 3 red hairbands, her hat still in place by now adorned with a lotus flower clip on the side. Her outfit was a full-body shirt that flowed below and was longer from behind, with a golden belt and neckline, designed with gear symbols on the front. She wore black pants underneath and a pair of platform steampunk-styled boots. On her hands she wore gloves that resembled those of her moth, but rather than be electric, they had a locate symbol on them. The mark on her arm was bare. Hyro gained a marching band-styled shirt with shoulder blades, no sleeves and symbols of the Earth Kingdom on both sides and cuffs on both hands, a pair of dark green pants and boots. Gallant Steed had a prince-like shirt that also doubled as a cape from behind, with the shoulder blades, belt, regal-looking boots and cuffs on both wrists. Nori's dress was a strapless seashell-styled pink outfit, with a shoulder necklace adorned with beautiful shells, pearls, and diamonds. Her belt buckle was that of her cutie mark, and a flowing multicolored mermaid skirt with purple, blues, and aquamarine shades flowed from behind her, and a stream of pearls cascaded from the front. She wore a pair of dark aquamarine leggings, with long boots adorned with pearls. Blaze flew closer to the fighting as Sarah blocked Chiasali's ice magic attack. "Glad Yule could join us, me," she joked, sweating a bit. Blaze swooped down towards Chrysalis, and when she got close blasted her point blank with her dragon fire, and managed to incredibly knock her down on the ground before swooping back into the air. "You think that did it?" Blaze asked, and she got her answer as an enraged Chrysalis appeared behind them. "Well, she can fly." Zip smirked and Blaze nodded before she showed her agility in flight, dodging Chiasali's attacks with grace and power as Sunny, Misty, Edge, Sarah, and Race countered with their own magical blasts together. Ryu and the Mighty Ones were still on the ground with the heroes watching the battle. "You got this, Zip," Ryu whispered. Blaze kept flying as fast as she could before she saw the clouds, as did Zip and the others, and they got an idea. "Okay, Blaze, time to vanish." Hitch directed, and Blaze flew up to the spirit clouds swiftly with Chrysalis following close behind them. Chiasali's readied an electrical shot at them. "Here it comes." Hip warned, and Blaze dodged the attack as Blaze flew deeper into the clouds, and Chrysalis emerged looking around furiously. "You can't hide forever," she spat. However, she fell into a trap as Blaze came from the left, and the ponies blasted her with their magic together before vanishing. Chrysalis turned around only to get blasted by the right. Blaze used the dark clouds to hide herself and her friends as they deployed their attack. Chrysalis roared before she expelled a huge amount of fire in the clouds. "Watch out!" Hyro cried as Blaze dodged the flames. "Okay, time's up. Let's finish this," Hitch ordered. "You read my mind." Blaze smirked. The female dragon flew towards Chrysalis. "Hey, looking for us." Izzy laughed at Chrysalis. "Come and get some." Blaze interrogated and Chrysalis snarled at them before Blaze dive-bombed towards the ground with Chrysalis following behind them as breakneck speed. "Are you crazy?" Kai yelled over the winds. "Trust us." The main nine retorted confidently as they emerged from the spirit clouds and towards the ground. "Hold, Blaze. Hold." Chrysalis opened her mouth to breathe an elemental shot at them now. Touching their hooves and hands together, the magic of the elements flowed through them as they rose up from the ground. Iris opened her eyes, revealing the glowing white orbs of the Avatar state and her glowing wings. One by one, each of the elements' eyes glowed with the same whiteness, and a literally rainbow emitted from them and struck Chrysalis right in the mouth, disrupting her flight. Similar to the Red Death's wings tearing up, the Changeling Queen's body began to crack. Rays of light emitted from those cracks as more and more layers of her body came off. "No! Stoop!" She screamed at the top of her lungs. Blaze flew behind the large falling queen before she hit the ground in an explosion of magic. And Wind, Chomp and the dinosaurs, Ryu and the mighty ones, Leaf, Lux, Tumble and Lava shielded the heroes with their bodies and wings. As a result, streams of magic flew all around, returning to the areas from which they had been taken. Spirits had regained their vibrance and color, trees regrew and plants blossomed once more. The spirit world became lush and beautiful once again. Blaze, Lava, Fountain, Lux, Leaf, Tumble, and the dinosaurs roared in victory as Blaze swooped down onto the ground and skidded to a stop within the spirit forest, allowing the others to climb off of her. That ... was ... a WESEOME. Hyro exclaimed at the top of his lungs in joy. That was amazing. Mai couldn't help but agree. You ponies are crazy. Kai blissfully laughed with relief and adrenaline at what they just did. Runs in Equestria. Zip joked. I didn't know she could fly that well. She was incredible. Gallant Seed praised Blaze. Thanks. Blaze smirked before it started to rain in the spirit world. Rain? Where'd this come from? Akari wondered. Ryu. Zip and Pip smiled at their dragon brother's personal magic. Blaze. Lux's voice came as the group looked up and saw the dragons and Ryu, and the mighty ones coming towards them with the water dragons making platforms out of rain to fly across the sky before they landed on the ground. Ryu and the mighty ones shook their wet manes and flung some at the main nine to their laughter while Sparky babbled and ran over to his adoptive father. Chomp and Sarah's dinosaurs gently came around their human owner as she gently rubbed them. You all were great, thank you. She thanked them before she pressed the elemental stones once more, and they were turned into cards and then their chibi modes. The main nine's rainbow power forms ceased their glowing, but they were still activated. Iris reunited with Korra and Mako. Akari was reunited with her parents, Kai with Nova and Sunset, Nori with Rarity, Galad with Starlight and Sunburst, Hyro and Mai with Balin and Asami. You did it, Korra said, hugging her daughter. No, we all did, Iris said, turning to the rest of her friends and the main nine. Tackle hug. Izzy squeaked, tackling Iris in a hug. What? Izzy? She yelped in surprise at the happy-go-lucky unicorn. The entire group laughed and tackled one another in a group hug. They fell to the ground, still laughing victoriously, and just being all around happy. The wolves from before returned, licking the children and the main nine in gratitude for having freed them from Chrysalis's spell. No doubt they would be returned back to the wild where they belonged. You ponies pack quite a punch yourselves. Impressive. Mako smirked at the main nine. Thanks. Sunny smiled. Fluttershy and Forex took notice of all the traces of cocoon pieces beneath their feet, and a small crater right where the giant chrysalis once stood. The couple approached the crater, seeing light smoke emitting from its center. The two gasped. It can't be, said Forex. Fluttershy cupped her hands close to her mouth before lowering them to reach her chin. Oh my goodness. Everyone gathered around the crater and reactions stretched out from either shocked, confused, curious, or bewildered. In the center they saw the body of what appeared to be an anthropony with insect-like wings. Long aqua-green mane and tail with light yellowish-green tips at the bottom, and skin that was a pale yellowish-white which faded to a very pale whitish-blue coloring. She wore a ragged dress identical to the design Chrysalis had, only this one was colored white with a light blue sash around her waist. She was barefoot with pointed pony-like ears, similar to those of a changeling, and forest green eyes with light green sclere. Long bangs hung her left eye, which she removed to reveal the lovely face of a teenager, looking up at everyone, trembling in fear. Remains of the large chrysalis monster were scattered all around her body dripping with the same green liquid from before. Is it over?" she asked, her voice trembling. She looked downright terrified. That voice. Iris was the first to step forward and slid down the small crater towards the teenager, who flinched the closer Iris got to her. She crunched down and studied the girl's face. "You're the voice I've been hearing. You heard me. I didn't think anyone could hear me." Discord rapidly shook his head and scratched it with his claw. "Wait, I'm confused. What's going on here?" "Your guess is as good as mine," Zahir said. Thorax approached the apparent anthro-changeling, noticing her features. He knew he had seen her somewhere before. Upon closer inspection, he took a tentative steed back. "Chrysalis. Hello, Thorax," the young changeling said, looking at him with a look of regret and sorrow. Even her voice was completely different. While Chrysalis sounded mature and intimidating, this girl's voice was soft and timid. "How is this possible?" Twilight asked, completely dumbfounded by the reveal. How in the wide world was this young woman Chrysalis? With Iris's help, she stood up and was assisted out of the small crater. "I think I can explain," she said, facing everyone. "I already told some of you how I learned to steal love and became queen of the changelings, but I never told you what happened after that." She hung her head, holding her hands clapped together in front of her dress, her ears pressed down the entire time. Unlike Chrysalis, she had no horn on her forehead. "I was envious of the other ponies. I wanted changelings to be more than what we were. When I tasted stolen love for the first time and that sense of immortality, I wanted it for us. I wanted my people to live forever. I thought it would be good for us. Only after I stole the magic from the Changeling King, I realized I couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't get enough of that love or that power. I felt like another side of me was taking over." "So, you possessed?" Asami asked, feeling some level of emphatic towards her situation. "Not really, no. It was all my doing," Chrysalis confessed. Huvira's eyes shimmered upon hearing those words, having had a similar experience long ago. "When I started hurting other changelings, I tried to get myself to stop, but I couldn't. My greed took on a life of its own. But there's no one else to blame but me. I nourished that side of myself, and before I knew it I was a slave to my own lust for power. I was trapped within my own rage." Rainbow Dash rubbed her temples, trying to process everything. "Okay, back up. You mean to tell me that Chrysalis, the sadistic, manipulative queen of the changelings, was really a teenager the entire time?" She paused, her mouth hung open and her hands outstretched at the young Chrysalis, who recoiled and looked away in shame. Rainbow blinked and adjusted herself. "Somehow, that kind of explains a lot. And the elements purified that side of her." Sunny realized, "'Cause that's what they do best. Purify those whom been wronged. Never underestimate teenage ambition," Zahir said, also speaking from his own experiences. Despite their full awareness of Chrysalis's horrible deeds, this child hung her head low, her hair covering half of her face, and her entire posture was coiled up. She wasn't that power-hungry Scubas anymore. Now she was just a frightened, and no doubt incredibly remorseful young girl. "I know there is nothing I can do to make up for what I have done. The changelings suffered for so long because of me. I let them starve and hogged all of that immortality for myself. You wanted your people to be special," Iris said, placing a hand on Chrysalis's shoulder. "You let your own insecurities blind you to what your people stood for, until it was too late." Chrysalis turned her attention to Cadence and Shining Armor, both of which looked at her with a mixture of anger and sadness. Chrysalis didn't blame them. She also turned to face the current, more benevolent, leader of the changelings. "I'm ready to accept my punishment." Iris turned to her mother, expecting her to be the one to give the final say. Instead, Cora nodded her head to Iris, much to her surprise. The young avatar looked at the saddened changeling, her expression hardening once her decision was made. "I think I know exactly what you deserve, Chrysalis." The changeling waited patiently and willingly for whatever came next. Only, rather than hear any specific punishment or sentence of any kind, she gasped to see Iris, offering her hand to her, smiling while doing so. I don't understand. What's there to understand? I'm offering you my hand in friendship. But I took your family. I stole your magic. How can you possibly think about? It's okay, Sunset Shimmer said, approaching her. We've all been there. Chrysalis arched an eyebrow. What? Starlight Glimmer rose her hand and, very openly, shared her own past experiences with the young changeling manipulated an entire town into giving up their talents so they won't think they were special. Turned an entire school into my own personal zombie army in hopes of conquering Equestria. Noted Sunset Shimmer, scratching the back of her neck. Turned all my grief and anger into a shadow embodiment of myself, which nearly destroyed the entire world. Twice, Nova mentioned, rising 2 fingers to make his point. My brother teamed up with a psychopath who worked for that same shadow monster and tried to kill my friends more than once. Kai stated, arms folded. Became a ruthless dictator and then into a siren monster, destroying everything in my wake with a giant mecha suit powered by spirit vines and siren magic. Huvira volunteered, placing a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Was part of a secret society bent on ushering a new world order of chaos, and tried to eliminate the Earth Queen. Put in Pili. Poisoned the Avatar, leaving her emotionally and physiologically scarred, and attempted to eliminate the new Air Nation. Zahir added, looking every bit as remorseful and guilty as the rest of them, probably even more so. Balin rose his hand next. Joined up with 2 crazies, one who tried to kidnap the president and another who was taking over the Earth Kingdom and imprisoning innocent people. Got possessed by an evil spirit of the night and cast a dark winter curse upon the entire world. Asami admitted. Oh, and my dad used to work for an anti-bending leader and once tried to kill me. Got possessed by the same dark creature, only instead I tried to plunge the world into an eternal night because I is jealous of my sister. Luna chimed in. Celestia wrapped her arm around her, which never would have happened had I been a better sister to begin with. Kept the history of an ancient civilization secret from other ponies, straining the relationship with one of my friends. Lilani said, yes, even the majestic Alicorn Queen made mistakes. Tried to turn Equestria into my own chaos kingdom and sold out my friends for an evil magic-stealing centaur demon. Discord said, allowed my anger to get better of me and strained my relationships with my friends and woman I loved out of a misunderstanding involving a civil war and an ancient prophecy that could have potentially doomed everyone in Equestria. Mako said, scratching the back of his neck. Korra mirrored the same gesture. Trusted my evil uncle which inadvertently initiated a civil war and kick-started Armageddon by opening the spirit portals when I wasn't supposed to. That would unleash the spirit of evil and darkness. Chrysalis blinked in bewilderment as silence filled the area. Wow, we are a really forgiving family, Hyro said, resting his elbow on Gallant's shoulder. Mako approached the young changeling, helping her back to her feet. You see, Chrysalis, we might be heroes to everyone else, but at the end of the day, we're all a bunch of fixer-uppers, some more than others. Zahir also took his chance to approach the young changeling, placing his hand over her shoulder. Believe me, if someone like me can change for the better, so can you. Chrysalis wasn't entirely sure about that, until Iris spoke up as well. Chrysalis, I know what it's like to lose sight of what's important. A lot of us do. Since the beginning, people have been drifting away from the light. It's our job to lead them back. But what if I'm not worthy to be a part of all of this? Chrysalis gestured to the large family before her. Like my teacher always says, an enemy is just a friend you haven't made yet. If you really want to start over, believe me, you are more than welcome to be a part of family. Iris offered Chrysalis her hand once more. Tears began to form in her green eyes, and rather than take her hand, Chrysalis wrapped her arms around Iris's neck, nuzzling her head into her shoulders, crying her eyes out. Her way of saying thank you. Korra, Mako, everyone cheered for the newest addition to their always growing family. Chrysalis wiped away her tears, and the rest of Iris's friends happily greeted her, making her feel like she was one of them already. Nori was especially excited. Oh, this is going to be so great. You can go to school wi' us. I can show you my favorite seaside cafe. Oh, and I've got a great idea for a new outfit. Something to complement those wings of yours. Young Chrysalis blushed at the thought of wearing something other than the ragged cloths she was wearing, but at least this was nicer than being blasted with magic left and right. Pip, stop with the pictures. Zip suddenly barked at her sister Hoon was taking pics of the spirit world. What? Pip dramatically whined. This is real content right now, especially this new rainbow form we have. Gorgeous. Ugh, Zip groaned. I like her. Rarity and Noi grinned at the female Pegasus, earning more disdain from Zip. Guess you ponies have a new rainbow form. Sephu smiled, hugging Zip happily. Indeed, infused with the power of your elements in your friendship, it's your more powerful forms unlocked. Raju smiled. You have done very well, and the future of the spirit world is secured. Some of the spirit animals gathered around Hitch and gently nuzzled him, making him nervously laugh, while Sparky happily babbled and cheered for his adoptive pony father. Cora and Mako wrapped their arms around her daughter, congratulating her on a job well done. Iris then removed her father's scarf and handed it back to him. I think this belongs to you, Dad, Iris said. Mako, however, only took the scarf back in order to wrap it around her neck again. Now it belongs to you. Iris traced her fingers over the soft scarlet fabric. Really? Mako placed his hands on her shoulders, smiling with pride. Keep it as a reminder that, no matter how far away we are, and no matter what stands in our way, you, me, your mother, we will always find our way back to each other, like the red string of fate. Mako nodded, wrapping one arm around Cora's waist. More tears rolled down from Iris's eyes as she hugged her parents. I love you guys. We love you too, Sunshine, Cora said, kissing her daughter's head. Mako surprised both of them by grabbing both by the waist and spinning them around with him. The three laughed just as they always had when Iris was a child. So tonight we're gonna party. So throw those hooves up, Everpenny. We got that glitter gonna roll. Cheese Sandwich kept throwing confetti and balloons left and right. The supper-duper party pony was back in full swing. Yahoo! He cheered, doing multiple somersaults, only to be stopped by his wife, of all ponies, who grabbed him by his yellow tuxedo. Honey, save some of that energy for after the ceremony, Pinky said, trying to sound mature, only to come off as her typical bubbly self once again. You're gonna spoil all of our surprises. I'm sorry, Sugar Muffin. I'm just so happy to have you back, Cheese said, as he wrapped his arms around his beloved party-loving wife. Me too, Mommy Pie, Cookie Cream said when she, in typical Pinky cartoony fashion, popped from behind her mother, hugging her neck. Pinkie Pie only blushed at the love of her family. Oh, I love you guys. Applejack was happily reunited with her family, and the entire Apple clan were dressed in their most formal country-themed attire. Applejack sported a new hat, as did Double Diamond, wearing a tuxedo, country vest hybrid ensemble. Fluttershy wore a stunning floral-inspired gown, while linking her arm with Thorax's, who wore a very handsome tuxedo, also with floral aesthetics. It's time to glow up the disco, 'cause when this place is popping, we will party, 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 oh yeah. Rarity wore an ocean-inspired gown, which was cut open in the front to expose an even longer skirt, with mermaid-like ruffles, her hair adorned with pearls and a seashell hair clip while standing next to Kombu and Nori. Rainbow Dash and Sorain, happily reunited, cooed at their infant daughter, who nuzzled in her mother's arms. It's okay, Firefly. Mommy's here, and she's never leaving you again. The ballroom was filled with friends and family from all walks of life, gathered together at the Harmony Day Gala for a very, very special occasion. One that was entirely unexpected, but wonderfully so all the same. At the small stage in the center corner of the room, Cora walked up. Mako stood right beside her, and the rest of the main six walked up on stage to stand beside her. Twilight Sparkle stood on her left side, and Flash near Mako. Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna party, party, party. Spike and Mika held claws, both also fancily dressed, with Mika wearing a lovely spirit flower on her head and Spike sporting a tux with green-colored flames. Iris, Akari, Mai, Hyro, Kai, and Gallant were named the new Guardians of Harmony. and the crowd couldn't be happier, and neither could Blaze, Lux, Leaf, Tumble, and Lava, who roared happily, expelling their flames into the air as fireworks. The main nine reverted back to their regular forms by now, but Sunny was still in her alicorn form as they all stood shoulder to shoulder in front of the crowd. And we'd like to honor our new friends, Sarah, Race, Sunny Starscout, Zipstorm, Pip, Petals, Izzy Moonbow, Hitch Trailblazer, Misty Bright Dawn, Edgeblade, and Sparky for aiding the Guardians and all of us in our darkest hour. Cora added as Sunny and her friends waved to the crowd happily. Party, party, party. Oh yeah, the-huh. Oh yeah, the-huh. But Hitch noticed something. Sparky. He called only to find the baby dragon running off with a large cake. Sparky. Hitch cried and chased after his baby dragon to the humor of the crowd at the latter's mischief. Hitch managed to get a harness on Sparky, but the baby dragon again dragged him through the crowd and party with him screaming in panic, while everyone else either shocked at Sparky's strength or laughing their heads off at how funny it looked. Sorky even flew into the air at times, oblivious as to the horror he was exposing Hitch to. That's one strange baby dragon. Tenzin blinked, but powerful nonetheless. Awesome. Milo laughed. Shouldn't someone catch him? Janora winced, feeling bad for Hitch. HLLLP. Hitch screamed in fear as people and creatures avoided the helpless earth pony being dragged by the tiny but mighty baby dragon. We're gonna party, party, party. Party, 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 oh yeah. Luckily, Blaze, Lux, Leaf, Tumble, and Lava halted the baby dragon as his pony adoptive father deflated on the ground. It's a learning curve. He wheezed, his hair unkempt, while everyone else laughed. Your friends certainly are something. Cora smirked at Sunny. They sure are, but I love them anyway. Sunny beamed. Each generation grows stronger than the next. Sunny and her friend and your daughter and her friends are proof of that. Raju wisely smiled and Cora nodded. So ... when are you gonna return to your Equestria? Cora puzzled. After the party. Sunny smiled. I think that should tire out Izzy enough for us to make her leave. The happy-go-lucky unicorn was dancing with Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich without a care in the world while Pip was dragging Zip onto the dance floor. Sunny chuckled before she, Misty, Edgeblade, Sarah, and Race joined their friends on the dance floor together. I still can't believe you did that without us, Mother. Sylvie's voice overcame as the scene shrunk down to reveal it was a memory illusion flashback made by Sarah herself as she was showing her family the parallel adventure. Hee, well, you can't always expect me to take all of you on every adventure I take. Sometimes going in alone means some character development. Sarah snickered, and boy did Hitch and the girls get that with their new rainbow forms. Ghost added, and meeting more alternate versions of the Guardians of Harmony and the princesses, not to mention meeting the characters from The Legend of Korra and many more. Naya, Tyson, and Skitty grinned. Yeah, that was so cool, you met another generation of the elements of harmony. Draco nodded, and kicked the butt off of that alternate chrysalis and reformed her. Hydreigon beamed. Well, Island Girl's tiny knack for adventure never ceases to amaze me. Race sniggered. And so does yours, champion boy. Sarah teased back. Ah, that was one of the best adventures I've had yet. Marina chuckled, standing beside Stormcloud and Arrow happily. Make you wonder just how many parallel worlds are out there. Keldeo added. Slowly we'll figure that out, Keldeo. Sarah snickered. And it'll be fun for us all. Mew cheered, twirling around as the family laughed at the happy-go-lucky species Pokémon.
That's all, Zipsters! Like and subscribe.